What's up, everybody? Welcome back, welcome back. Now we're going into the termination process. Hashtag client tools. Got my client strippers right here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to tie in. I'm gonna start to terminate the cables and the light, and then I'm gonna work down, and I'm gonna go ahead and terminate this single pole switch right here. I'll start with my black cable. Take my stripper, this 14 gauge, so I'm gonna go to the 14 gauge. Try to leave a good little bit in order to tie in with my other one. Use my wire nuts. Probably could have stripped a little bit more out on the one that it came with, but should still be able to make it work. Yeah, we can make it work. Got my black tied in. Take my white. I'm gonna put a little bit of tape just for good measure. It's always good to tug on them a little bit. They have new type of wire nuts and stuff now, the smart connectors and all type of stuff. But I'm still using these old schools because they still work. As long as you ain't trying to make something that's gonna last like 100 years. Take these, tie these together. It's gonna be my ground, tie the grounds together in my switch also. And I have a ground going to a GFCI plug or GFCI adapter for my plug. It's always good to snug. I tug on them a little bit just to make sure they're secure. All right, so I'm gonna put me a little bit of tape. You might see this in the field sometime, just for good measure, to kind of help out, secure them. Secure your wire nuts on your cable. You don't have to do this. And it's kind of a nuisance once you get into the troubleshooting process. You don't want to have to tear no tape off, but like I said, I'm just doing this for instructional purposes. A little bit on this one. I should have took this heat shrink off of the other one, but it's no problem. No problem at all. We're gonna make it happen. Like I said, sometimes when you get to the point where you have to do some troubleshooting, you really don't want no tape on it, on your wire nuts, because you have to. I like to put my multimeter leads inside my wire nuts, and when you have tape on it, it gets in the way having to take tape off when you're trying to get a voltage measurement. Basically, my light is already hooked up now. Going down to my switch. Take my black cable. I'm gonna put some cable lugs on these so I don't want to strip off too much. Like I was saying earlier, your power coming into your switch, that's gonna be your line side, and going out to your light, that's gonna be your load side. What I'm gonna do next is put some cable lugs for the fork terminals or spade terminals what some people call them. On my black cable, that way I could just put it on my switch. I don't have any issues with trying to wrap my cable around the switch and all of that. I can just stick it in a secure connection. I can unscrew it if I need to unscrew it. Try to get my cable conductor or bare conductor to the edge to where it's flush on my cable connector, on my cable lug. Pull it on a little bit just to make sure it's secure. Give me another one. I like to put it in my crimpers first. Just hold it in my crimpers, then I just kind of stick my cable in. Like I say, take your ass, try to get as close to flush as possible. Crimp it, release, tug on it a little bit just to make sure it's snug and secure. And with these, I'm gonna tie my neutrals together since it's just a single pole switch. Tie my white cable together, my neutral on my return. Use it with your switches. You don't want to use a whole lot of cable. But I'm gonna just use it just enough to where it ain't too short in case you have to take it apart or make some changes or something like that. Like I said, I'm gonna put some tape on my cable wire nuts just for good measure. Just to make sure it's on there good. Make a mess down there. It's all good though. I'll take my neutral. Take my grounds, tie my grounds. Use a pigtail with my ground. See if I can find a green cable. I use a pigtail with my grounds, tie all my greens together. Y'all probably like, man, that's a whole lot of cable in the switch. It'll help once you start to have to do any troubleshooting. Because ain't nothing worse than trying to pull out a switch and it's got like a little bit of cable. Can't really figure out what's going on because you don't know what's what. Once I'm gonna take a little bit off of the ground, I'll snip a little bit so I won't take up so much space inside my switch. Jam them in there pretty good. Got too much cable. course, you don't want too much cable, but I got a little bit more than I need, but like I say, it'll help in the long run. You got a good bit of cable. As long as you can fit it inside the switch. So I got my cable up right here. Put my black here. Black here, just a single pole switch. 120, 15 ounce switch. Shouldn't pull nowhere near 15 ounce. Just to make sure I can jam all this inside my switch. I got plenty of cable. Yes, sir, I can get it in there. Take me some tape. Where's the end? Here we go. You don't have to do this right here, but I say this is a good practice. It's always a good idea. Like once again, just for good measure. It's a nuisance when you're troubleshooting, but it helps over time. Kind of put some tape around using a switch. Hooking up a switch, put a little bit of tape around it. See my snips. And that could just kind of secure your connections, and also make sure you don't like short out any of your connections, especially if you got like a box like this, a metal box, like I have here. Put this here, jam this stuff in there. Started. I'm probably like, wow, that's a lot of cable. It is a lot of cable. There's a reason behind that. As long as you don't drill it in. Make sure you don't screw it in any of those cables. Make sure you don't damage any of your cables. Try to level that. Switch hooked up. I'm just look inside it just to make sure I don't have any cables that could potentially get damaged by the screws. Got my switch hooked up. I'm gonna put my cover plate on. It helps. It's really a good idea if you test it before you put your cover plate on, but I'm pretty confident it's hooked up the way it should be. Flat blade. Bear with me so I can get my flat blade screwdriver. Flat blade tip for my screwdriver. Flat tip. Can't find my flat tip. My flat tip for my screwdriver. But it's all good. I'm just gonna use this. Got this Weehaw I think that's how you say it. We are supposed to be like German or something. But this is a double insulated screwdriver. Good if you're working on like energized circuits. I would say it's a good investment depending on what type of work you do. I don't like to do it manually because I got that power screwdriver. Well, since I have a power screwdriver, I don't like to do it manually. Kind of made me lazy, but if I have to, I'll use it manually. It's a lot faster with the power screwdriver too, or with the battery screwdriver. You know, it look kind of funny because I got this regular household light electrical cover, a light switch cover on it. But it's that's just the way I did it. I like the way it looks. But I got my light hooked up. See if I can put the cover on it. Might have to fight with it a little bit. Find out and pop it back on. I'll pop it back on later. But anyway, that's it right there. I just wanted to go over how you terminate the inside of your LED light fixture, like fluorescent type fixture. Ran me a power cable to my switch line side. On my load side, I ran a little jumper to my light, and I terminated the inside, and then I hooked up the inside of my switch right here. On the next video, I'm gonna energize it, make sure it works, test it, and that's pretty much it. I appreciate y'all taking time to watch this video. If you like this content, like, share, and subscribe. All right, I'm out.